Alright YouTube, this is 2cent back with my 2 cents on Echoes of Mana, and we're going to do the next little segment here on Memory Gems. Now we're going to be looking at the Mage Gems specifically. So hit that sub button, and let's get into it. Alright, we got Little Spirit Fae here again. We discussed this in our physical damage units as well, but it's also really good for mages. It's just really the stacked stick of that 400 either strength or intellect, so it definitely is good, especially once again on Popio. That's going to utilize some of that strength in some of his things as well as putting this on a unit that you're going to be able to utilize that Mega Spirit Magic extra damage on. So what's extra nice about this card is it is more of a somewhat generic one that you can kind of throw around on just about any of your units. Just that stress of the one that you're going to be able to use that spirit on comfortably in combat. Now up next we have Rulers of the World, and this is that card that gives that additional MP regeneration when you take your character off field, as well as giving that 400 intellect. I think this card is perfect for Chrism Wizard and the 4-star Angela, that is the water one, the original unit. They run out of MP too quickly that I think that if you're planning to run either of those, that this card is almost nearly essential for them. Really just depending on the length of the fight, or if you're just comfortable switching to another character for the rest of the fight and not coming back to them at all. But if you're wanting to be able to switch them back in, this card makes that viable. Alright, now before we get to my favorite memory gem, I did want to talk about this one that's a little bit more of a free-to-play option. This is a 3-star card, it's called Tree Chat, and it just gives that extra magic attack damage, up to 10% when you have it fully unleashed, and a decent amount of intellect at 240. You know, granted, the 4-star versions of the cards have 400 intellect in possibly better sort of passives, but this is a pretty good one. But I'll tell you, you know, typically you're going to want to use a 4-star card, obviously. They have really good extra stats with it, but the stats that you get from your memory gems also is what's you know, taken into account when you're having your percentage modifiers on your gear. So stacking the extra intellect is really good, but if you don't have other options of your 4 stars, this is a good memory gem for that kind of, you know, cheaper free-to-play option there. Book of Curing. Now this is my favorite memory gem for my mages, especially when I'm not using Chrism Wizard or the 4-star Water Angela. For those ones, I'm definitely going to keep Rule of the World on, but anyone else, Book of Curing is really great from just being able to get that kind of 200 intellect, but also you can get up to 103 luck off of this card. And I'll tell you what, that's really important for your damage users. You really want to have really kind of as much luck as you can. Up, you know, I wouldn't want to go past like 600 very much, because I think you get some you know, diminishing returns versus using intellect at that point. However, it's not easy to get all that much on your gear, and it gives you some way of shifting around some pieces when you're getting some extra luck from your memory gems. So if you look over that passive, you get an additional anywhere from 15 to 20% intellect buff when you're 50% or higher on your HP. And then if you're lower than that, you actually get an active regen on your character from like 3% of your max HP every 5 seconds when it's at max unleash. This is really nice as you're kind of doing some harder content, some boss content. You're either getting a huge buff or you're getting some of that regeneration, so you're not having to worry about so much like switching over to your healer and then having to swap back. So this is definitely what I would say my go-to memory gem if you have that or have the ability to pull for it or something like that in the future. And that's my 2 cents on Mage memory gems.